And the Grammy goes to The Last Days of Oakland.
Yeah! Yes, baby! Yes, baby! Walk.
When I think about who you are and who you have become, and this blend, this homogenization of all these sounds, and then now here you are, and it sounds like home to you. It sounds like home with roots and blues. How did that whole evolution occur?
I think it occurs naturally. I think just as we're human beings, I mean, I think 20 years ago, we were thinking something else and we were experiencing something else. So I think it's just from living life, man. Just the struggle and the challenge of just being a human being.
Right.
I think this is what paints the picture of who you are, and I think it should be evolving constantly. I think especially as an artist. So I hope I don't sound the same as I sounded 20 years ago. That's what I would hope.
And you don't because I can't imagine you doing purely sexual right now.
Yeah, it'd be different, right? It'd be very different, right?
It'd be a different sound, right?
Yeah, and I always look at these as just incarnations. That was a young 20-something-year-old kid, and now I'm a grown-ass man. And I think one thing about roots and blues and all this amazing, I call it the Black Roots Garden for all of us. It's influenced all of us. We've all picked from this garden and had amazing results, no matter what part of the world we're from. And I think it was just time that I did it, and I picked from that garden and came up with fantastic Negrito.
Yeah, and what you're picking, though, in terms of its harvest, I've been to an event. I've been to a show. I've heard about the resonance, how your music is resonating with people, how people are saying, wow, there's something about his lyrical content, something about his tone, his tenor.
That pisses people off.
Some people, but that's the thing, though. Those people are listening because clearly there's a message in the music. So what I'm hearing is there's this message. Is this a message that you are subconsciously authoring, creating, and delivering, or is it something that is just in you and you just need to get it out right now?
Well, I think that all of us have great potential to do amazing things if given the opportunity. Before I was doing fantastic Negrito, I'd quit everything. I dropped everything because I feel like I had nothing else to say musically, and I started because I was a marijuana farmer. I was growing tons of weed, and I learned so much from growing that weed, man. It was like these herb plants were a lot like people. I'd look at them. Now, if I gave them the light, if I gave them the love, and I gave them the water and the nutrients and the space, man, they just flourished and they were amazing. And you know what? They provided with you pounds. And they provided food and shelter and clothing and instruments, whatever you wanted to get. But if you neglected these plants, well, you'd lose your investment. And, you'd go to harvest and you'd have nothing. And so I think about that the same way that I think about people. I hope that answers your question.
It does.
And it was a learning experience, as every day is.
So when I think about this whole growth process, because in my field in career and professional development, I've been referred to as a growth expert.
Okay.
And I often
you should grow some weed.
What?
Getting paid.
Well, you know, so what I've grown,
That was a growth expectation.
that's right, and that's right. That's a different kind of growth, but it's growth nonetheless, and it
So
deals with the
important.
growth of potential, right?
Yeah, potentialism. It's amazing.
Potentialism, and so with me, I'm always looking at how fertile is that soil, because oftentimes I find with a lot of music artists and people who are striving to achieve something professionally, there's that intersection that I want people to be aware of. Who you are as a person and what you're doing professionally. There's that intersection. That's where
Right.
that healthiness occurs. And so with the growth you're talking about musically, I've discovered that when it comes to genres like art, when there's roots, when there's jazz, blues, these genres are for people who are striving. There are a lot of people who hear roots, they hear blues, even jazz, and like, I'm not ready for that yet. They're, you know,
gotta live a little.
that's my parents' music, right? And then I see
Well,
that
they should listen to this. Let me stop you. They should think about this, their parents and their grandparents. Were their parents working 3 jobs just to pay rent? Were their parents a postman, then getting off and driving Uber and accepting it like it was nothing? Did their parents, how can I say this diplomatically? Did their parents accept the kind of government that we have right now? Did their parents stand by and let corporations rape us?
right.
Rape us, have a small percentage of people have all of the money and control everything, and we seem okay with it. So maybe we have something to learn from older stuff, and we have something to learn from our parents. And I want to also say this, that this potentialism that we speak of, this light and this love that I speak of, only came because I kind of surrendered. And I gave up on this fake American dream that you do it by yourself. You pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Bullshit. None of those wealthy people did that. I joined a collective.
That was during the 5 years that you were.
Well, that was,
heavy
no,
right?
the 5 years I was growing the weed.
Okay.
But what I did with the weed is I joined a collective with the weed, with artists, but I was just a grower.
Okay.
And what it did is just, it taught me that you can't do it alone. People that tell you that they did it alone are full of shit. They're lying to you.
Right.
That's not the American dream. The American dream is getting help. The American dream is immigrants coming over and working their asses off. That's what the American dream is.
Right.
Anybody that tells you that they did it themselves, well, they're just greedy and they're an asshole and they don't want to give the people credit that put up with your shit. Somebody put up with,
I don't need anyone else.
you know,
right?
people put up with your shit. That's how you got to where you are. So the people that go, I'm here and you're there, why can't you do it? Well, because you had help. You think you did it by yourself, but you're being a liar and you're not giving people credit. Someone had to put up with you, put up with all your bullshit, put up with all your noise and your ideas to get to a place of success. So what Black Ball Universe is an incredible idea of people saying, you know what, it's not about me, it's about we. And we're gonna have one goal, and we're gonna make it happen by everyone contributing. And when one of us wins, we all win, and we all share. And that sounds like what corporations do. But they tell us to do something else.
Right.
They tell us to go out there and get it by yourself and work hard. Come on.
Right.
Y'all all rich in the rich man's club, you know what I mean? And you're not
So-
sharing, there's no equity for people like you.
So with Black Ball Universe, I'm glad you brought it up because people hear about Black Ball Universe, and when I've heard people mention Black Ball Universe, they think it's a production studio. Is it a record company? It's so much more. It's so much more, and you refer to it as a collective.
Collective.
And it sounds to me like an ensemble of entrepreneurial spirits who are working to achieve something for the greater good of all.
So the idea, again, with Black Ball is that this whole ownership of money and ownership of this, and it's just like it's useless unless you are helping other people. If you're greedy, which I probably am a little bit greedy inside, just grew up that way. 14 brothers and sisters, it made me greedy. I couldn't eat, I couldn't.
Yourself, right?
Yeah, defend for myself. So I figured, wait, if I help this dude, then he's gonna become more powerful. Then we are together, then we're powerful, kind of like corporations. And then if I make this dude over here powerful, then man, then I get more. So I'm saying if you're greedy, which I probably am greedy, and a lot of other bad shit, you wanna be like, share. Share with people. Man, it's gonna come back so good. It's gonna come back incredible. If you're greedy, when you see people that need help and need education, make sure they get it. Because if you're greedy, listen, those people are probably gonna come back and rob you. So you want to help those people out.
Right.
And you want to be invested and interested in an equitable society.
Okay.
And that's a book for greedy people.
That's right.
Which I may be, a
Right.
reformed greedy person.
Right. And an equitable society has equity that everybody can partake in.
And that's amazing. That's great. You ain't gonna walk down the street all scared, like, oh man, I'm going this neighborhood. Nah. You know that people have been exposed to love and books and food and water and healthy diets. I think it's pretty good.
So the name Blackball Universe, it has blackball
Blackball.
has some negative connotations.
Well, if you think that way.
Right. So the negative connotations that people typically have when they think about someone being blackballed, blacklisted. When you came up with blackball, what was the meaning there, the symbolism there for you?
Well, there's nothing negative about it. I thought, like, hey, sometimes you're people that are a little bit misunderstood, or some people who have a lot of courage and want to step outside the box.
Right.
People want to challenge the system. Why is that bad? I think it's kind of good, especially if
Right.
you're an artist. That's amazing.
I love
we
it.
wouldn't have great art if it wasn't for people that would, like George Clinton, like, man, step outside the box. People like David Bowie, I'm going to step outside the box.
Yeah.
People like, Santana, people like Jimi Hendrix, people like E40. Like, who sounds like E40?
Right,
no
right,
one.
no one.
People like Too Shorters, like, sell my own stuff. You know,
Right.
people like Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? People
Yeah.
like Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
Amazing people who have said, I'm not going to go your way
Right.
because this is wrong. Then people could blacklist them or blackball them or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But why is that bad?
And that is not bad because
Not
they
bad.
had the mentality and they were bad to someone else, but not in terms of what
Yeah, look
their
at breakdancing and
objectives were.
boogalooing.
Yeah.
That was different. People
Yeah.
were like, so what? It's different.
Yeah.
Look at rap music.
How do you circumvent that though? I mean, so if you get someone who basically has the appeal, they have the profile of someone for blackball, you fit this criteria. You're someone who's not afraid of getting blacklisted or blackballed. That's great. But now from a business standpoint, you're going to come in here, we're going to work with you. You have to adhere to some policy, procedure, some protocol.
I don't
How do
really,
you deal with that?
I don't do it like that. I mean, it's like, I feel like this. People that have been in blackball, there's been no invitation, there's been no request. People just get in.
Okay.
And that's how it's been from the beginning.
Okay.
I remember one of the guys that's in the collective, he just came down to visit, look at everything. He didn't say anything, just next thing I know, he's sleeping on the floor. Nobody said nothing.
Okay.
Nobody has to say anything.
Okay.
If you want it, you get it. It's there. If you don't,
Right.
you don't. If you're looking for sunshine, you're going to find sunshine. If you're looking for negative stuff, it's out there. If you're looking for donkey porn, you can
Right.
find that.
Right.
If you're looking for a good meal, everything is out there. And so I think these things organically and spiritually manifest themselves. And the best thing about business, from my perspective, is don't look for money. Look to be incredible. Look to be creative. Look to be different. Look to produce something amazing. And it all comes.
It all comes.
It all will come.
Once you create
Because
the
those are the
value.
most
Yeah.
important things,
Yeah.
that you have something to contribute. And as we go into museums, why do we go into museums? We look back and we go, what did they create?
Right,
What did they
right.
produce?
What was the inspiration?
What's the
Right.
inspiration?
Yeah.
And so I think the same thing is, I think that's a very strong part about being a human being, is that our creativity, our contribution to the very existence of humanity.
Without any preoccupation or obsession with commerce.
I don't think about that. It's just it's weird to me to
Yeah.
think about that. Like, you make an album. To win a Grammy, I never thought about it or cared about it, to be honest with you. It's wanted to make amazing music. David Bowie never won a Grammy until he was dead, so I never, it wasn't something that I thought about. It came and it was great,
Right.
and I won't think about it again. The
But
last
it
days,
wasn't the focal point. It wasn't like, this is why I'm doing this with this end result in mind.
no way. And I could, I'm making another album. It has nothing to do with the last days of Oakland or the Grammys. It's just, you're just on to other things. And you, as an artist, you want to keep being a contributor, because then you're useful and you're
Right.
productive. And I think that's good for everyone.